Today we're going to be going over something interesting, something you may have heard of. Magic wands. If you've ever seen the first movie of Harry Potter, there's this whole segment where he goes and buys a magic wand. But believe it or not, there is real websites that go over things that talk about the real life example of magic wands. For example, this website is the Esoteric Archives. And one of the interesting pages that I found on the Esoteric Archive, was how to make a magic wand, or basically the page on magic wands in this website. It was last updated June of last year, so it's pretty update, pretty neat. This website been up for quite a while, since 2005. Still, let's go over this. Zoroastrianism, I think, is how it's pronounced, and the Magi. The Magi of the ancient world were the priesthood of the Zoroastrian religion. As Plato noted, magic refers to the magician lore of Zoroaster. The Baron, or sacred bundle of twigs or slender ones, is a ritual implement which has played an important part in Zoroastrian religious practices since the prehistoric times. According to Cotwell and Boyd, the bearsman is an ancient Indo-Aryan emblem of seeking the holy, and it, quote, establishes a connecting link between the Sketig material and world and Manog, spiritual realm. Barsum is, as it were, the conduit through which the archetypal principles and powers manifest their presence and receive the offerings. There. I think that's a little better, right? Yeah. Now microphone's in the right mode. Okay. The Barsum is, as it were, the conduit through which the archetypal principles and powers manifest their presence and receive the offerings. It is also an instrument through which one acquires sacred power. Perhaps it is also a conduit for channeling the power outwards, and thus is a prototypical magic wand. The bearsman is traditionally made of tamarisk twigs, although in modern times metal rods have been substituted. Dino, a contemporary of Philip, refers to the use of Barsum for divination, which is also sorted by the Descartes. A stick with 9 nuts is used during the 9 nights purification. The nuts are barrier against pollution and evil influences. In Zoroastrianism, we also find the mace used. This is now referred to as a gurs. It is used as a spiritual weapon to drive off evil. Interesting. So there's a basis in history of where Harry Potter and get their ideas. This is a 50th century BC plaque showing a mage holding the bearsman. So this is like a bundle of sticks. Yes, magic. We're going over magic here. You're gonna learn how to play a lot better. Then you'll be able when your magic matches. You just have to know the pretext first, right? So we're going over the pretext. Egyptian, Greek, and Roman sources. The use of the bearsman by the Magi, as well as was well known in Greek writers and is mentioned by Strabo and Phoenix of Colophon, cited in Athenaeus. The magic wand was also known amongst ancient Greeks and Romans. The Zoroastrian Magi, the ancient Roman flamines or fire priests, also carried such bundles of twigs in their hands. Pliny and Apuleius both attest in their use. Homer and Virgil both describe the archetypal sorceress, Circe, I think, as using a magical wand. The relevant passage in Virgil was noted by Agrippa in Occult Philosophy, Book 1, Chapter 41. It is also cited by Alpheus Levi, Key of the Mysteries, Part 4, Chapter 1. Best collection of Greek and Demotic medical papyri examples of spells which include the use of a wand or staff. The spell PGM I.42-195, for example, has the magician hold the branch of myrtle, shaking it, and salute the goddess. I am Iamblichus, one of the more important Neoplatonic philosophers, discussed magic in general on the Mysteries. In it, he mentioned the prophetess holding a staff or wand, invoking the divinity. Agrippa also cites this passage. The grimoires. Early manuscripts of magic, or grimoires, have many references to the use and importance of the wand in Western magic. There are two similar ritual implements commonly described in magical literature. The staff, Latin blecus or baculus, Italian bastone, of French le bâton, and the wand, Latin verga or virgulum, Italian verga, German Stabchen. Alright, I'm gonna pronounce foreign language anymore. In French manuscripts, this is sometimes called your baguette magique. Oh. Alright. This is kind of hard for me to hold my composure here. Magic baguette. Also translated as rod. The staff is more the size of a walking stick. The wand is smaller and tapered. The staff and the wand from AD 10862 from the Zechariah manuscript. That's the baston and the verga. So that's the staff, and that's the wand. According to the Key of Solomon, the staff should be of elderwood cane, and the wand of hazel, and in all cases the wood being virgin, that is 1 year's growth only. They should each be cut from the tree at a single stroke on the day of Mercury, or Wednesday, at sunrise. The characters shown should be written or engraved thereon on the day and hour of Mercury. Magical symbols for the staff and wand, according to, I don't know what that is, the oldest known manuscript of the Key of Solomon. So these are, I guess, like the words or descriptions of what a wand is in different languages or texts, which is very interesting. According to version F of the Almendal, wands should be made of Anthillis barbojovis, Jove's beard, an evergreen shrub native to the Mediterranean region. They should be decorated with silk threads of appropriate color: green, white, red, or yellow. According to the Sworn Book of Honorius, chapter 132, I hope I read that right. The magician's wand or staff is made of laurel or hazel, likewise of 1 year's growth. More details are provided in that chapter. But the wand should have 4 sides. On one side should be written Adone, on the second side Sabaoth, on the third Heskyros, and on the fourth Emmanuel. On the middle of the wand, make the pentagon figure of Solon, where the wand is held, cross, and thus it will be prepared for sacred and wonderful works. It's his translation. This is collaborated and expanded on in the Clavicula manuscript from Gerald Gardner's library, which states, the wand of 6 ES spaces, probably hazel, which should be at least 8 or 9 palms, whose end should be stripped on 4 sides. And those same 4 names of God should be written there, namely on the first side Adoni, on the second Sebaoth, on the third side Ischurus, is on the fourth Emmanuel. So that one's easy. In the middle, make this sign of mine, namely the sigil. On the other end, where the hand holds it, make a cross. Very similar is the scepter in manuscripts of Pseudo-Bacon, Roger Treatise Thesaurus Sputum, which instructs that they should be made of laurel wood, ne'er as big as your arm at the hand, but it must be just a cubit long, and the bark taken off of it. Abogunzar specifies the two types of baton that are needed for magical operations. One for operations of Venus, made of elder, another for all other operations calling for a baton. So normal operations want a baton, and then a baton for the operations of Venus. In this, the key to the work is a triangular wand made of hazel. The Lesser Key of Solomon, Book 1, Goetia, I think, recommends holding a hazel stick in the hand during the operation of the Beleth for upholding one's courage. This is based on the Ware hazel staff. The passage in Reginald Scott translates baculum as bat, but it could mean rod, staff, or stick. In Le Grand Grimoire, the main ritual implement is called Le Baguette Mystérieuse, or or what that is in French, the mysterious wand or blasting rod, which causes the spirits to tremble, which God also used to arm his angel when Adam and Eve were driven out of the earthly paradise, wherewith finally he smote the rebellious angels, precipitating their ambitions into the most appalling gulfs by the power of this very rod. Of the rod which collects the clouds, disperses tempests, averts lightning, or precipitates each and all upon any portion of the earth at the pleasure of its director. From the Book of Ceremonial Magic. It is made of wild hazel which has never become fruit. Its length should be 19.5 inches, with a forked end and magnetized steel caps on the pointed ends. According to Franz Bardon, one of the most important occultists and magicians of the 20th century, quote, "The most important aid in ritual magic is, and always be, will always be, and always will be, the magic wand." This guy that wrote Witchcraft, Magic, and Alchemy shows a magical operation which features a wand of poplar wood, half without bark. And here's a bunch of summaries for woods for magic wands. So acacia is excellent material for making a magic wand. Almond wood is specified in the Book of Sacred Magic of Abralim the Mage. Should be as thick as a little finger, an ell in length. That's German. This probably is an imitation of the biblical staff of Aaron. According to Agrippa, almond and other woods of nut trees are associated with the planet Jupiter. Levi recommends the magic wand be made of almond or hazel. According to version F of the Solomonic magic text, element, a wand should be wrapped with a silk thread of appropriate color if they're Job's beard. I think that was a little earlier in the text. Applewood is sacred to Jupiter. The druidic wizard Manannan MacLear carried a wand of apple. Ash tree, sacred of Jupiter. According to Franz, a magic wand of ashes especially be used in healing people. Yeats recounts details of an Irish fairy doctor, one whose mystical power is received from fairies, who observed many traditional practices include carrying a wand of ash during prayer. Bay, sea laurel, beech, sacred to Jupiter. Box tree. According to the Key of Solomon, box and oak have some quality referring especially unto the spirits of Jupiter. According to Agrippa, in the magical calendar, this is a sacred tree associated with the zodiacal sign of Libra. Buckthorn is associated with Aquarius. Cane may be made of cane, according to the Key of Solomon. Cedar, according to the Key of Solomon, have some quality referring to the spirits of Mars. It seems like we got a lot of things to go through here, but let's just get past it for the sake of brevity. So for the length, this guy, I can't pronounce his name, states that the wand should be the length of a master's arm extended. According to this manuscript from Gerald Gardner's library, the wand should be at least 8 or 9 palms in length. According to Pierre More's edition of this book, the wand should be 1.5 feet in length and an inch thick. This accords well with Franz Bardon's statements that it should be between 3/8 and 3/4 inches in diameter and 12 to 20 inches long. The Avesta mentions that the greatest length of the bearsman twigs is the height of a knee, though ancient art shows that it is approximately the length of the arm. Modern barsomes are much shorter, as short as 9 inches. According to Abralemon, the wand of almond wood should be of finger's width and thickness and length of your arm measured from your elbow to fingertip. According to this, it should be in thickness narrow as big as your arm at the hand, and it must be just a cubit long and the bark taken away and remain white without painting. Grand Grimoire specifies a length of 19.5 inches, and Joseph Anton Herpentel, in The Epitome of Supernatural Magic, specifies that the wand should be 4 spans long. And apparently, the literature includes some examples adding materials to wand to enhance its characteristics. Here are some commonly ascribed magical attributes of materials. I don't know what this is. Stone associated with Venus. Amber is associated with Venus. Amethyst, Scorpio. Beryl is with Libra. Birthwort is with Pisces. Calamint is Virgo. Carbuncle is associated with the Sun. Carnelian is Venus. Christophray is Capricorn. A bird is associated with Gemini. Sacred comfrey is associated with Cancer sign. Copper is associated with Venus, and it is affixed to the end of a layman with copper with certain symbols on it. Coral is with Venus. Crows are associated with Sagittarius. Crystal with Mercury and Aquarius, and so on and so forth. So it seems like all of these are associated with different signs here, and it seems like the Grand Grimoire recommends metal caps. And so, like, depending on what kind of sign you want it to be, or planet, I think you want it to be associated with, or God, I think, in this case. You can do all of those. And then silk threads, they're added to the wands. They're called Jupiter's beard. And then St. John's wort is associated with necromantic operations. Let's see here. And then Vervian apparently was bending vervain was associated with religious processions and several ancient writers, and that's about it. Seems like if you really want to associate it with one of these signs, I think you have to add any of these materials, which is interesting. So here's some other elements if you want to build your wand. Bark. Half of the wand is left covered with bark in the method cited by D. Givry. Letters. Trithemius specifies that the wand should have certain Hebrew characters written in gold and magical symbols. The Greek magical papyri directs the magician to write sacred or mystical names of gods or angels on the wand. Now, the interesting part. How to use a magic wand. Most magic texts agree that the wand should be held in the right hand while praying, or while calling or addressing spirits. Christopher A. Farcone, I don't know where that C came from. Christopher A. Pharaon gives an ancient Greek spell wherein the divinity or spirit is invoked while holding a branch of laurel in the right hand and an ebony staff in the left. When dismissing the spirits, the hands are switched. This also has a parallel in PGM I.335. In this use, it is primarily used as a defensive weapon. It is used to strike the bowl in some divination methods. In Zoroastrian ritual, the gaze and the ritual power is focused on the bar psalm. It is also held in the right hand. These are all the references. But yeah, this is an interesting website. You should check it out if you really like Western occultism or Western esoterica. Sorry. It has a lot of different things on this website. It's quite technical and it's quite interesting. I recommend that you dive into it if you're interested in any of these sort of things, to be honest. So that's all. We're going to go ahead and play the thing now. So let me switch the category. No mature rated game. Okie dokie. All right, time to switch over, I think.